to the webinar today. Just for a brief introduction, my name is Gavin Olson. I'm a sales engineer here at Cloud Academy, coming to you guys from Chicago, Illinois. Really throughout this process, please just kind of think of me as your platform expert. Any questions that come up, please feel free to interrupt, ask away. I'll provide you guys any clarifications that I can. We also are going to have a questions box that I will be checking periodically to make sure I can get all your questions answered. But with that said, let's dive into the platform. So for the flow of this, what I really want to do is show you guys kind of from the admin side of things at first, really how with ease you guys can actually get the platform up and running for your organization. From there, do a bit of a deep dive into some of the skill intelligence and analytics we provide our partners. But from there, I'm also going to hop in and to our end user side of things, really show you how they're going to experience the platform as well as utilize our learning content. And then to wrap things up, I'm going to hop back into our admin panel, jump into our content engine, and really show you where all the customization and curation takes place within Cloud Academy. So let's get started. So when you first come in here into our admin panel, you're brought to our organization tab. Here's very easily where you can simply, once all the users are actually brought into the platform, you can organize them into proper teams. You can also think of these as simply an online classroom. This can be done in a variety of ways based on your specific job roles, any certification initiatives you might have, incoming onboarding cohorts. But a very common use case we use is simply mirror your organizational hierarchy. This can be as complex or simple as you need. The one thing that's really good to note here is we do follow a waterfall security data structure where all the teams at the top are going to have data access to all the sub teams nestled beneath. Now we've taken care of that, we've organized our users into the proper teams. It's time to find our baseline. That's done through our training and our assessments. And what I mean by find your baseline is really just to get to know your team. Where exactly do your tech skills lie today? And maybe where are some of those skill gaps that might be good to address. Starting a new assessment cycle is incredibly easy. Simply hit new assessment cycle. And you're going to be able to choose between two different formats. There we go. And like I was saying, you do have the ability to choose between two different types of formats. First is going to be a written exam. Like I said, a written exam. You'll notice that typically these assessments are going to be a bit more on the shorter side. That's simply because we don't want to intimidate the user from the moment they log into the platform. But then we also can choose from a lab challenge. These are absolutely fantastic because what this can allow you to do is actually bring a user into a live environment, whether that be AWS, GCP, or Azure. And essentially, we're going to ask them to carry out a variety of tasks. Now, go from point A to point Z, do a bit of troubleshooting in between, but it's fully unguided. So this is a fantastic way to find out, hey, what does this user truly know? As a manager, you absolutely have the ability to track your team's progress through an assessment cycle. We'll give you the overall assessment score, show you your skill map, essentially pointing you in the direction of, hey, where exactly do our skills and strengths lie? But also, we're going to point you and show you where exactly our skill gaps are. It'll be broken down by the various cloud providers, as well as the specific platform domains. Typically, this is a great place where we really like to loop in, a CSM or a content expert, because they're going to really help you build out and point you in the direction of some very valuable content to attack these skill gaps a bit more head on. We also provide the ability to see the individual user assessment score. This really will help you identify any outliers within your organization, because not everyone is going to be starting at the same place. Some will be a bit more beginner and some will be a bit more advanced. So now we've found our baseline, we know our skill gaps. It's time to assign some training plans to attack these a bit more head on. Assigning a new training plan is incredibly easy. Simply hit new training plan. With ease, you can assign it to individual team members, as well as your organization as a whole, or a specific sub-team. When choosing a training plan, you can either customize your own or choose from our various out-of-the-box training plans. You can choose based on a specific cloud provider, platform domain, as well as just a variety of different tech topics. I'll go ahead and choose AWS and go to our AWS Cloud Architect Starter. When choosing a training plan, you're going to be given two key metrics. First is going to be content duration, and then average time to completion. In utilizing that, you can set your own internal threshold, say, hey, please come in and spend 3-4 hours a week on this training plan. But a much more common use case is to simply set a due date. Now, we really need you guys to be up to speed come the end of August. Select that due date. The weekly time commitment will adjust as well. You can go ahead, review and confirm and assign. And just like that, you'll have assigned your first training plan. So one thing I do want to talk to is you fully have the ability to even stack and sequence these training plans. So when a user finishes the first, they can seamlessly dive into the next. We really find that helps, maintain that momentum to learning for our users. But from a more managerial or stakeholder point of view, if you see these due dates down here, this is going to provide very predictable upskilling. You're going to have a great sense of where exactly your tech skills are going to lie at a given date in the future. As a manager, you even have the ability to track your team's progress through a training plan. We're not going to show you overall how your team is progressing towards that due date that you set, but more importantly, how exactly are their skills developing over time? If you scroll down, you'll get a more granular view of your individual users, how they're each tracking and how they're performing. A great feature we even provide is to set automatic nudges. So as the users fall behind, let Cloud Academy be the bad guys. We'll try to reach out, inspire your team to catch up. But as a manager, you're going to have the ability to send manual nudges. Really want to heartbeat that these are going to appear to come directly from you. So you have the ability to be as direct as you feel you may need to be. Hey, we see you're falling behind. What's going on? What's it going to take to get you caught back up? So I've already covered quite a bit on how you really get the platform up and running. I just want to take a brief moment to pause, see if there's any questions before I hop into the skill intelligence aspect. So from here, let's go down to our intelligence tab. This naturally becomes managers and administrators' favorite tab. It's where all the skill profiles and analytics are hosted. I'm going to start off with our analytics because this is a very simple consumption metric. How much content is being consumed and by who? However, a very common use case we see with our partners is to utilize our exams, especially when it comes to certification initiatives, because you can filter based on the final exam of a certification prep. See who exactly has taken this, and more importantly, what their last score was. You can really utilize that by saying, hey, go to Cloud Academy, show us you can get at least an 80% on this specific exam. And that's how we know you're ready to either sit for the exam or you're ready to take on these kind of projects. You also have the ability to filter based on your organization as a whole, a specific team, as well as even get as granular as specific team members. From here, let's dive into our skill profiles. These are awesome and a key differentiator for us here at Cloud Academy. We're not only going to show you what your overall top platform is, competency levels, but also your skill growth rate, where you started during your initial baseline assessments, and how your skills have grown today. This is a very key indicator of ROI because this skill growth rate is only populated by actions where your users are validating knowledge. And what I mean by that is they're answering questions correctly on quizzes, exam, or properly carrying out labs. For a moment, let me go ahead and refresh this for us. There we go. One thing that's also very valuable is you do have the ability to filter based on specific platforms and domains you're interested in. Let's say you work heavily with AWS, you can go ahead filter based on this cloud provider, as well as the specific platform domains within it. So let's say, hey, we know we have a massive security project for AWS coming. You can go ahead, filter based on this domain. See what exactly our top services, overall competency level, what exactly our skill growth rate is here. But also if you scroll down, we're actually going to provide you a leaderboard. Who are these top users within our organization? And utilizing that, if you have a big project coming up, you can really see who are going to be those go-to people we might want to utilize for this project. In this case, Victor and Tamara would be great people to reach out to. So from here, let's go over to our end user side of things, show you how they're going to interact with the platform. So when they first land here, they're going to be brought to their end user dashboard. First thing that'll catch your attention is going to be the My Training. And that's very simply all the learning content that's assigned to them that they're associated with. They can simply cycle through and seamlessly dive back in where they left off. We'll also provide them with our recommendations tab, a very great feature built out by our data science team, where simply it's actually just looking at their most recent activity in the platform, what teams they're on, courses they're attending, how they're actually doing, and going to recommend some content they feel is really going to benefit them. I do want to take a moment and show you how exactly the end users can experience their skill profile. We'll go ahead and dive in. First, we'll be able to show what exactly the teams are on, their overall skill growth rate with the ability to tag up to 4 skills that are really, really valuable to them. We can go ahead and hit manage skills, and that's going to give you the very high level overview of all the skills you've actually interacted with, what you've completed, what are the last activities that have actually affected your overall skill score, as well as all the skills, a ranking, where exactly you stand compared to the entire Cloud Academy user base, as well as your overall competency score, and even the ability to star for simpler tracking. You do also have the ability to even drill down further within here. Again, we'll show you your skill growth rate. How exactly is this skill improving over time? And again, the ability to get even further down. From here, what I want to do is actually hop into our content library, because this really is where the majority of the end user experience takes place within Cloud Academy. There's a few ways you can navigate this. If you have any custom content built out, it'll always be up here for easy accessibility for your organization. You can also filter based on specific topics, any certification initiatives you might have up and coming, any job roles. Do want to point out that this is not a comprehensive list of our job roles currently. Throughout 2022, we will be releasing 15 additional job roles, which we are very excited about. But you also very simply can filter based on which cloud platform you are utilizing. I chose AWS for this. So when clicking into a category, we're actually going to show you how exactly the learning content is broken down. The learning paths we offer, our courses, the variety of labs, quizzes, and exams. Do you want to take a moment to kind of walk you through the labs we offer? First we have is a hands-on lab, which I'll actually be diving to in one here shortly. But that's going to be a fully guided lab experience. We're going to ask the user to go from point A to point B to point C, but don't worry, we're going to instruct them the entire way through. Then we have our lab challenge, which I know I touched on briefly beforehand. And essentially what that is, it's a fully guided experience. It's a fully unguided experience. So we'll bring a user to live environment, ask them to do a bit of troubleshooting in between. Again, a really great way to find out what exactly does this user know. Then we have our lab playgrounds. These are very appreciated by our more intermediate to advanced level user, simply because what we're going to do is actually provide a live sandbox environment for them to work through newfound skills without the fear of breaking something in a production environment. We do have a 4th lab that's not listed here, but that's a fully custom lab. You can work with our content team. We'll build you out a lab that almost perfectly mirrors your tech stack. From here, let's jump into a learning path. I'll choose our AWS Solutions Architect learning path. It is one of our more popular. So just to give you guys a bit of clarification, because I have said training plan and learning path quite a bit throughout this demo, a training plan is simply the delivery mechanism to getting learning content assigned and in front of your team, while a learning path is the Cloud Academy approach to learning. We have a learn, validate, do model where you're learning in our courses, you're validating through our quizzes and exams, and you're doing in our labs. If we scroll down here, you'll see how our courses are broken up. We are incredibly lucky that our courses and actually all of our learning content is built out by our own internal content team. And they really built it out with the end user experience at top of mind. Personally for me, as a recent college student, I absolutely hated my Tuesday and Thursday courses because they were 2-hour lectures. So I'm very lucky that Cloud Academy took a bit more of a micro session approach. We find it makes the content just much more consumable to the end user, but also really helps them better plan their day. Hey, I only have 15 minutes in between lunch and my first meeting. Let's jump into Cloud Academy and see how many sessions we can really work through. Let's go ahead and jump into a lab. I really want to show you what exactly that's going to look like for our users. So access to these environments come fully included with every single user, every single license at no additional cost to you. So you guys can be rest assured when you're accessing these environments, you're not going to receive any surprise bills from AWS, Azure, or GCP. Go ahead and open this environment. Personally, when I work through these, I really like to go split screen. I find it makes it much easier to not only follow along, but simply copy and paste in the credentials. Go ahead and sign in. And just like that, we'll spun up our own instance of an AWS Management Console. One thing that's really fantastic is we actually have the ability to bridge the gap between this console and the Cloud Academy platform. And what that's going to allow us to do is actually conduct validation checks throughout this lab. And what that means is simply we just want to check, hey, have I actually properly carried out this lab? And am I ready to continue on to the next step? Let me go ahead and find one for us, show you how exactly it works. So perfect. Here we've come across a validation check, hit start check. Again, just checking, have I properly carried out this lab? One thing I really appreciate, if you see down here, you'll see this label. That's telling you the specific skill that's being assessed right now. That's the kind of skills and the kind of actions that is going to feed into your skill profile. Unfortunately, I got this step wrong, so that skill is going to decrease. If I was to get it right, that skill would have increased. I'm going to go ahead and end this lab. And I do want to jump into one of our ongoing assessments because they are very, very beneficial to our users, especially when they come to certification initiatives. And that's going to be for a variety of reasons. First, mainly because our ongoing assessments when it comes to certification preps are always going to mirror the real life exam for a lot of time and number of questions. We also really pride ourselves on pulling from a massive bank of questions. So you can be rest assured, whether you got 100% the first time or a 50%, come in, take the exam multiple times, because it is very unlikely you're going to see the same question twice. So we also have a fantastic feature actually built out around our ongoing assessments, and that is called item response theory, or IRT. And what that is, essentially the platform is actually taking into account how you're performing and going to base upcoming questions on how you did. So let's say you started off really strong, got those first 5 questions right. That 6th question is going to be a bit more difficult. The inverse is also true. Let's say you started off really struggling, only got 1 or 2 questions right. Those upcoming questions are going to be a bit easier and a bit more forgiving. I'm going to go ahead and submit the exam to show you the answer review we provide our students. So unfortunately, naturally, since I skipped 58 questions, I didn't do too well. So we're going to give you your overall score, how your answers, how they broke down. But I think more importantly, we're actually going to show you the specific skills that we assessed and how exactly they changed throughout the course of this exam. Let's say you feel you can do a bit better in certain domains, simply hit improve your score, and that's going to take you instantly into a quiz on this domain. But let's say throughout this learning path, you realize, hey, actually, I do need to read it up a bit more on databases for AWS. You can go ahead, hit browse training, and that's going to take you to all the learning content associated with this specific platform domain. Scroll down a bit. So here's the comprehensive answer review we're going to provide our users. We're not only going to provide you with the correct answer, an explanation, but we're even going to give you a link directly back to AWS. That's kind of us at Cloud Academy saying, hey, don't only take our word for it. Here's the answer and the explanation coming directly from the source. Fantastic. So that really is all I had for you on the end user side of things, how they're going to utilize the platform and interact with our content. I want to take a brief moment to pause, see if there's any questions I can give you guys some clarification for. All right. To wrap things up then, I'm going to briefly hop back over into our admin panel and walk you through our content engine. This is really where all the customization and curation is going to take place within Cloud Academy. So you fully have the ability to customize anything we've seen so far. The only thing you're not going to see in this UI once it loads is our assessments. That's not because you can't customize them. They're just a bit more of a heavy lift on our end. So we do ask that you loop in a CSM or a content expert when doing so. A few very common use cases for our content engine is going to be uploading your own custom resources. I'm sure you guys have a variety of very, very valuable content to your organization. So you can simply drag and drop any flat file here and actually integrate it within Cloud Academy and our learning content. You also fully have the ability to customize one of those hands-on labs in which we just saw. Simply go down, choose your specific lab provider. And you can drag and drop and really say, hey, these are the validation checks and the steps I want to make sure my team can work through. You can even get a bit more granular with our customization. Hit this pencil icon. You can go and actually customize these specific steps. You can add common tips and tricks for your organization, bring imagery of your own production environment, really anything that you feel is going to benefit and really help your team navigate this lab. You also fully have the ability to even customize a learning path from scratch. We'll go ahead and hit create. Also, do want to touch on the point, so when customizing anything within Cloud Academy through our content engine, you have the ability to either start from scratch, build it out completely on your own, but you also can clone existing. That's a great starting point. I'll go ahead and choose our solution architect one that we saw earlier. You can localize the title to your organization. Hit next. And here is really where you can pick and choose, hey, what do we want our organization to see? Let's say through our initial baseline assessments, we realize, hey, our team is actually fully up to speed when it comes to storage. So you can go ahead, remove all that related content. But let's say also throughout you realized, hey, no, actually our team actually really struggled with storage. Maybe that should be covered sooner rather than later. Simply drag and drop this to an order that makes sense for you. You can even bring in additional content, additional resources, whether that be integrating your own content that you uploaded, but also adding additional steps, additional labs you feel are going to really benefit your team, any courses you think your team needs to be read up on a bit more, as well as even additional exams to help really validate that, yes, my team did learn this. Complete selection, simply drag and drop to an order that's going to make sense for your organization. You can go ahead and hit save. And you're even going to have the ability to customize, hey, what skills do we want to assess as our teams carry out these assessments? Simply bring in newfound skills here, as well as remove ones that aren't relevant to your organization. On top of that, you're even going to have the ability to customize these skills to match your own internal business objectives. You can create the skills, you can tag it to specific learning content, and then it's going to be incredibly easy to track them within your user skill profiles. Fantastic. So that really is a high-level view of the Cloud Academy Skill Intelligence platform, and is really all I had for you guys today. Before I wrap things up, I just want to take a brief moment to pause and see if there's any questions. I, again, will take the silence as a no. I just want to say I really, really appreciate you guys' time, and I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day. Thank you.